Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros hanging out, Black and Yellow Dog app platform of the people. And our guy Nez Takes has an emergency to tend to in childcare land. And what do? Instead of going OG Roto Run solo run, we bring in one of the best in the biz on a whim, Mike Zakarian. What's up, my friend?
What's going on, man? It's good to be back, as we were just saying, for an absolute just dumpster fire of a Wednesday night slate.
Yeah, it's gonna be tragic. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
yeah, it's
already upset.
yeah, a very, very strange slate here. We got 7 games from the back end back to back. We got a couple more front end back to back. We got NBA Cup on Friday. At least we already got the honest news, I
Yeah.
guess, because he was breaking the hashtag models and projecting as the 101 in a big way. But yeah, still a lot of moving pieces here. Have you been in the streets already?
Do you know I have been just creating stuff for me to do so I would not draft this morning because it was so clear that we should not draft right away. And it's tempting. You're like, oh, look at all these Q tags. So I could take advantage of this. And I've tweeted about it, but I think I'm like 0 for 9 in a row of trying to take advantage of Q tags on the slate. And so I was like, let's just wait it out.
Yeah. I think that's the approach that a lot of people are taking right now. Fill rate looks slightly down, and I think it's a little bit more risk adverse. It's always a double-edged sword, right? Because if you fade the landmines successfully out here and you set up that perfect projecting team, you could get, you get 6 top 15 projecting plays on the same roster. Because as the day goes on and as news filters in, even if you weren't drafting those players or targeting those players, you're pulling them out of the pool. So
Right.
it's weird that ownership actually gets more dense and more concentrated on these 12 gamers because nobody wants to pass on, 5th or 6th round Jaw with a Q tag because what
Right.
if, or Cade in the 3rd round, what if, right?
Right. Well, and then you can't like spread it around like you normally would because you're just going to get the swap. Like you're going to get whatever that swap is when your 30% Anthony Davis gets ruled out for the 3rd consecutive slate. So,
Right.
I've been going back and forth where like I did dabble. I think I probably did like 10 or 15 this morning. Just like while I was doing a little cardio, I was trying to get some drafts in. And I was definitely like had some leans where I was pretty sure Giannis was out. I was nervous about Cade and Duran, but now it's like Cade seems kind of like he might be leaning in. And then I also have your Windhorse fingers up for this Denver game, just because that spread broken. So I'm sure I was trying to take it cautiously, and like I got a lot of Steph Curry with like pick 35 and 36, which is pretty fun. But I don't know. I think the first 2 rounds are just going to be a minefield with all of these cues.
Yeah, no, fully agree with you, man. Love the macro lay of the land there. Yeah, my Windhursts are up a little bit there, obviously, just because Jamal has been coming into every single slate with the probable tag. He didn't play through it the one time. Yeah, and it's like it's actually something that's been lingering. Yesterday, Aaron Gordon was like load management kind of thing. So,
Right.
I don't know what happens today, but I think they set it up preemptively yesterday with those P tags that now something happens today. And I like you pointed out the spread there. Mike, come on, macro stuff, dude. You've been killing it on the dog app to start the year right now. You've had some really nice finishes and stuff. Like, what's just been working for you as a drafter?
I gotta tell you, let's before I even talk about skills, I had some real run pure early on. Like I joked with the Anthony Davis stuff. I last night finally broke the streak, but I had 5 consecutive slates where a guy I had owned 30% or higher got ruled out.
Oh,
So
nice.
it was like starting with Bam Adebayo a week ago or something
Never
like that.
Bam.
So yeah, never Bam. But honestly, and you guys have put me onto it. And even though I was ready to vomit looking at the price tag, which I feel like I can say because I'm not a sponsor, but it was I started using the solver. I was like, let me test this out a month because I am a hand builder and I am maxing and I do get pretty lazy, I think, late in slates with combos and stuff. And that has really helped me like look at my lineups a little bit more and kind of dissect it and making sure that I'm not taking stands you don't need to take, because I think that is something that I would do where I was like, let's get 45% Peyton Pritchard he's due or something like that, where I'm like, okay, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you from like a way to play the slates and a way to be profitable. The egotistical asshole in me, who the reason I play these games is to flex that 45% on
Yeah.
your in the last round when it finally does hit. But from a sheer how is the best way to go about playing these? Yeah, the diversified combinations tool of like, hey, I thought I was pretty good at this, and I thought I was pretty good at drafting and minding my own combos and tracking it myself as I went. Oh no, never mind. I was doing like 30% of what the tool can do.
Yeah, well, and I think it's allowed me to isolate the times that I do want to do that too. Like there was a slate where I think Jaden McDaniels was going in the 6th round without Anthony Edwards, and I was like, this is one of those times where it's like, let's be more specific or more like precise in the like rounds 3 through 5 because I know I'm clicking McDaniels every time he's there in the 6th round. Or like last night, I was pretty adamant that I wanted Jamal Murray ahead of Steph and. I had a Steph, Jimmy, and there was a third in Ja that I was like, I'm taking Jamal before those guys every time. So like, let's get weirder somewhere else. But breaking news, I did not get weirder in the right spots yesterday because that take sounded good at like 8 p.m. Eastern last night. But yeah, that's kind of where I've used it, where I feel like you can still put your foot down on a couple of things.
Okay.
But again, just not getting. I feel like I just would get too concentrated in years past. So it's definitely helped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the field for a long time was over concentrated in a lot of spots too, especially like high variance spots, like the AD stuff, like the whatever, myself included. Like I did the AD thing on whatever it was, Monday night, Tuesday night. Like I had 65% AD in 100
Yeah.
runs. And I was just like,
I still think that was right.
yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. Like I do.
Yeah.
And then the projections come out, and it's like, oh, this guy in the 5th round was the 6th best play on the slate. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that every time. And I'm doing it again today. Like,
Right.
I'm sure I'm gonna.
This actually a really interesting convo for him in particular. So obviously, since that iteration, we now have 2 reports today. Well, the last 48 hours or whatever. Nico's gone. So someone Ricky's joking in the chat that the only dude in the only person in the building who believed in you is now gone. But then there's also this other report this morning here, and I don't know how much validity or credence it deserves, but it was just like fully like Nico was trying to push AD via the coaching and training staff into playing earlier with this calf injury, which we know the history of calf injuries with all those Achilles tears in the postseason last year. So it's kind of like this double-edged sort of like, well, now that this report's out there, now that Nico's gone, do they really play him tonight, even if he's been a Q tag night after night, 3 nights in a row or 3 slates in a row that he's been on?
Yeah, John, what if I told you I knew that information before the last slate too?
Right.
And I still clicked Anthony. I had like read that report. I had already seen it and I was like, yeah, but it's AD, dude. He's a dog. No, you're right. There's no reason to rush him back. And I actually was talking about it with Nez this morning a little bit where and maybe I'm not reading Vegas correctly to start this season, because to me, I felt like that was one of my edges last season, was that I was able to early in the slate kind of predict a lot of the Q stuff ahead of time and get way out in front of it. And I felt like I've been reading it accurately, and then have been getting a lot of stuff wrong with this to start the season. So I don't know if I've gotten caught up. But you tell me, like, why should, arguably even with Anthony Davis, any iteration of this Dallas Mavericks team be favored?
Yeah, entirely fair point. Like I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why. So that's why I'm like, but it happened last game too, where the spread didn't make sense. So I was like, because they were playing the Bucks, and I was like, somehow this is a 2-point spread. So I don't know. I'm gonna go down the AD ship again, I'm sure.
So this is interesting because I'm just looking at it in real time on Unabated here, and it looks like we started. It looks like it's pushed back to the Suns now.
Oh, has it?
1.5. Yeah, 1.5 is pushed back to the Suns now. But it was a pure pick'em line last night with like mix and match money on either side. Yeah, then it opened. Yeah, opened as 1 and then flipped all the way to 1.5 Suns.
Yeah, maybe everybody saw the same tweet today and they were like, "Oh, he's not playing."
Right. Yeah, it's true. Right. Oh man. Crazy stuff. We'll talk through it all in depth here. Shout out to our guy, our resident Supercross expert out here, Davis, dropping off 10 Badge Bros memberships. We'll make good on those. Almost went paywall today until Zakarian decided to come in here. And I love this comment from Nez here. Wow, the Nez Slappy's getting there with the Zakarian swaps.
Nice.
That is the theme of the day. But we'll make good on these. There'll be some no strip Nez in the future here. We had a great NBA show. I'm not going to lie. Great NBA show behind the paywall there yesterday. So made good on that, hopefully, for some people. I did see some love in the chat earlier about some of the Cedric Coward stuff and some of the other plays we threw out there. So, yeah. I will hit. Mike's got a heart out here, guys. So we're going to do winners and follow up on last night. At the tail end there, I want to give out some shout outs there. I saw Sam Olsen up there, that sort of thing. But we just got to dive right into things here, and we just got to start talking.
I'll say,
Black and Yellow Dog app.
John, if I had won last night, we could have started with that for sure. We could have started with winners last night if I had won, but you can save for the end now.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's talk about just kind of like the macro. Obviously, the Q tags are driving the slate here, where Cade is going to project basically where he's going right now, but you play rope a dope in there. The first two are both didn't go through shoot around. The conditional stuff at Unabated downgraded both Cade and Jalen Duren a little bit here. There's also a whole lot more to this Detroit situation in terms of injury report stuff. And they do have a cup game on Friday, and they were renowned and spoken about early in the season as a team that cared about the cup. I know there's definitely some teams that don't, and there's some teams that do, and we've dealt with this, and some teams run it up, and sometimes some teams run guys full. It was kind of like the Pacers 3 years ago, where they proved themselves in NBA Cup, or I guess 3 years ago, proved themselves in NBA Cup. Look, guys, we belong. Make a big push in NBA Cup, and then they became who the Pacers were the last 2 years in the postseason. I think certain teams and certain organizations, especially these like middling tier ones and not the quote unquote big money, big market guys, view this as a stepping stone. And I kind of believe it with Detroit. Anything there with that narrative, Mike?
No, I like that. I like that a lot. I know that was true with Milwaukee too. Shout out like Magi Carp.
Yeah.
He's the one who always calls it. He's like, Giannis like really gives a shit about this stuff. And so that's why he was like, there's no way he's playing tonight. He'll be rested for Friday. But I mean, Cade and Duren just logging major minutes in that back to like that really tough game against Philly. And then you have the overtime game against Washington where Cade was like, what if I took 50 shots in 46 minutes or whatever it was? So they like this, the writing is on the wall. And I imagine, like, I don't know how you feel about it, but if these two sit, I feel like Giddey, like, is there any reason to rush Giddey back in this game either?
Right. Yeah. The push-pull dynamic of what would happen on the other side. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, right? Like, it just give him another spot. The problem with it is, with this game in particular, is just the laundry list of injuries on both sides, right? Like, all the G Leaguers already listed out. There's no Zach Collins on the one side. There's still no Kobe White. There's no Tobias. There's no Ivy. There's no Sasser. There's no Beef Stew. Well, Beef Stew has the doubtful tag. And then Asar is already out too. So it's kind of like, who even plays, right? Like it's
ball Paul. That's who plays, baby. I'm not getting there. But
yeah, B-ball Paul and Ron Holland. Like just oh yeah, go get it, guys. Go fill it up. And we love what B-ball Paul does from a rate standpoint. We know that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I hope I'm not clicking him, but that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, man, if this was 2 years ago and Embiid was sitting, I was like, dude, Paul Reed 101 tonight. I don't know if it ever worked, but I did it a lot.
Same. Yeah. I mean, yesterday I got excited about the slate because, hey, now we get to play Andre Drummond. Like, it's just truly sick how our fucking brains work.
It was 32% Andre Drummond last night, baby. I was right there with you.
I love it. Man, we got a source in the chat. Nick Bean coming through. I got a source. They're both going to play tonight. I mean, I think the number one narrative for them both to play tonight is just the fact that they're running out of bodies. They're literally thin, right? But yeah, I love this. Intercontinental Championship is what the NBA Cup is. That is the stepping stone to WrestleMania there. Unbelievable. Yeah, so I agree with you, Mike. There's a lot of push-pull in that one there. You and I are both doing the AD thing. Where were you selecting AD in your first runs?
Basically right at ADP. I think the earliest I was taking him was end of the fourth, where like at the 4-5 turn. I think that was the earliest that I would grab him.
Okay.
And because I do think the price on this Q tag isn't too bad, and with the slate is like sort of deep enough that I feel comfortable if he gets ruled out. Sign me up for PJ Washington again or whoever, But I think it does again. Like you get build this like Jokic powerhouse team, and you get to throw Anthony Davis in that like 4-5 turn is pretty fun. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to play, but I'm still doing. Is that where you kind of have him?
Yeah, that's where I had him. I had him 18 initial go and then got way too much.
Yeah.
And then I put him at like 23 and I was still ahead of ADP on it because I was just fine taking it in like the late fourth for the same reason that you're saying. Like there's so many moving pieces on this slate that there's going to be so much swappability. Like, Ryan Rollins is now going to be a swap for people. Yep. We might get some of the Detroit stuff to be a swap. We might get players on his own team to be a swap. So yeah.
And I do wonder too if his price actually stays cheaper because he's done this now three or four slates in a row. So because I like the last couple of slates, his price has really run up as we've gotten closer to lock. But I wonder if we just don't see that this time.
Yeah. I knew Eggers was gonna kill me for the first Ryan Rollins mention there. Yes, very astute of you guys. Nez does look different today. We got our swaps in. Zakarian a late fill in. Nez had some their child care called in sick, and he's on I want to say babysitting duty, but it's his own kid. He's on fatherhood duty. It's an interesting wrinkle to it though. Like Gumby brings up the 80 minutes limit thing. This has been a narrative in the past and last year in particular. And then Jason Kidd says, oh yeah, soft cap, blah, blah, blah. And then AD played like 34, 33, 36, like stuff like this.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of fugazi with Jason Kidd in particular when it comes to minutes limits, especially when they're pretty thin in the front court, like just in general. Like they're a little bit undersized right now with like what's been happening with Lively not being out there, etc. But yeah,
I think that this is probably a bad take that I'm gonna have. I think very rarely are they like, oh, you know what? I don't know if Anthony Davis. You know what? We will let Anthony Davis play today, but only 16 minutes. Like I just don't like. If that's the case, just hold the guy out. Like, and if it is going to be a minute restriction, if it's like 28 minutes of Anthony Davis, 27 minutes of Anthony Davis, or 32 of Franz Wagner, like.
Right.
I think I think it is worth the risk there. I mean, yeah, there's definitely a risk that he comes back, but I'm sure there are plenty of examples I'm sleeping on right now. I just don't know how many times somebody comes back and they're like, we're going to hold him to 18 to 20 outside of Joel Embiid.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. There. And I like the analogy, right? Like him and AD and Zion are like the two guys that like, hey, if we're going to get 28 from them, like I'm pretty fine that they're, especially when they're in good spots, are going to project decent enough to outweigh like the 34, 35 minutes of other guys, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just saw Nick with a good example. Yes. Jesus Christ.
That one's not gonna reach the screen today. The other one we got to talk about here is the Jaw Q tag. That one just came down the pipeline.
This is saving everybody, guys. This is for everybody that's drafted Ja. Good news. You don't have to have Ja on your team anymore. He'll get swapped because Ja sucks, guys. He sucks. He's not good. He's not driving to the rim. I was going to go back to it because it's against Boston. And if there was any rim that he could attack, it would be the Celtics front court, right? But I mean, he's so sloppy with the ball. He's slower with the ball, and he's a jump shooter now. So let's get him ruled out. Let's fire up some Cedric Coward.
Yes, no, I fully agree. I would much rather. Would you rather play JJJ's shot attempts and stuff like that are way down, but he's been like pretty efficient. Would you have any interest in going to JJJ in the last round and or as a swap option, or would you just skip that and we're just playing the fun new exciting toy and Cedric Coward and how nice he's looked?
I don't think I want to play Triple J anymore. Honestly, I think we'd be a lot meaner to Triple J if the Jaw thing wasn't happening. Like, it's like 17-4 with a couple of stocks every night.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. The jaw stuff's really interesting, man. The eye test. I was tweeting about it yesterday when I was watching that game. Like, it is. It's very like pouty and quitty right now.
Yeah.
Like his drop, I understand why the models can still like him
Hmm.
because his usage rate is like top 5 in the NBA. His drives to the basket are top 8 or 9 in the NBA, something like that. His potential assists are like top 10 in the NBA. Like all these things look amazing as metrics. The problem is nobody's hitting shots around him and the drives are empty because he's not
Yep.
going and drawing contact. He's not finishing at the rim. He's like 40% shooting on drives and finishing at the rim. Like
Yeah. He's
like
got 29 turnovers and 25 made baskets, or maybe I flipped that. Maybe it's 29 made baskets and 25 turnovers, something like that in the last 5 games. Like
yeah.
it's absurd. It's absurd. And yeah, I'm with you. It does feel a little pouty, and you're right. The projections are still going to boost them every time, and that's like a classic like IKB. On a big slate like this too, and you're maxing, sure, like grab some jaw so you don't get like burned by it. I totally get that. But I think about like last night where he's going at like the turn, and I'm like, guys, I mean, he's been just so bad, and
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's a bummer too because he's so fun. He's so fun to watch when he's on, and that team is just vibeless outside of our boy Cedric Coward.
Yeah, no, I this is my comp I came up with last night. I haven't shared it with anybody yet. It might be Dunce Cap, but I Cedric Coward reminds me a lot of Victor Oladipo when he came out, but with a little bit more height.
Oh wow.
So I think he's like the way Victor Oladipo moved on the court and his frame and like just like I don't know. I watch Cedric Coward play basketball and I go, he moves like Vic, and I thought Vic moved so effing well. Like I thought he should have been like way better than he turned it out being, and like injuries had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, he got
But
so unlucky, man.
yeah,
Depot was just like crazy injury after crazy injury.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like a fair comp or that's not necessarily the analogy I want to make because like I used to joke with people that like the first time I saw Victor Oladipo play in like the March Madness tournament, I said he moves like Mike, and like I always thought it was a compliment, and I think it's a compliment in my own mind, but people might not hear it as that way. But I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit of overlap in like play style and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a real bummer. I mean, I think it's a good comp, but it is a real bummer because it doesn't feel like it should have fallen off like this. And I wonder too if it's, for lack of like a better term, like PTSD of just the injuries that he has suffered by being so aggro. And I know he had that like brutal hip injury last year, and so I don't know if that's in the back of his head. And he's like, this team sucks, so why am I gonna hang it up low or go after it right now? Let's just get healthy or whatever. I don't know, but it sucks.
Yeah, it does. This is actually pretty cool in the chat here. Jay Witz, Murray State guy, went to college with Jaw. Dude's personality changed drastically. I mean, yeah, people forget that before the whole like, gun stuff and whatever, like he was prep school kid, like wannabe gangster, not actually gangster kind of guy, right? Like he was.
We were on our 89 Cavs podcast. We were joking about how if he was on if he was on Atlanta, none of that stuff would have come out. The gun stuff, they would have. I think my buddy Justin said they would have handled it in the system that they have in place by extorting him or something like that. It was just it was a great take. It was a great take.
Oh man, that's funny. I love it. Yeah, this is another good point from David. It's like the fact that you can match scores easier with larger player pools. So even though ownership's going to get more concentrated and dense, especially when guys start getting ruled out with the Q tags and that sort of thing, and people start swapping into the same plays, it's like a double-edged sword with just like the macro of like you can find 50 balls on this slate where like last night on a 6-game, like you're in the depths of the last round and the tight band of projection from everyone is 32 to 30. And there's like 18 guys you can choose from and their ownership is all spread. On a slate like tonight, you could find a 50 ball, right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, good stuff. Interesting question here. People thinking through the Giannis swaps already there. Yeah, I mean, the Bobby Portis minutes saw a nice little uptick the last 2 times out there. Miles Turner's seen a little bit of an increase. The models are probably going to tell you Ryan Rollins. Any thoughts here? Would you swap to someone outside of that game?
Oh, man, I mean, like, Bobby makes sense, right? But I don't think I'm swapping to Bobby until he burns me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I'm there. I'm probably more interested in Rollins or definitely not Kuz. Miles, I guess, would make sense too. But honestly, I think back to like your point, I think the slate's like deep enough. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is out there. Like go get that free 55 fantasy points from Jaime.
Yeah.
And I guess it is because it's Charlotte, right? Milwaukee and Charlotte. And
Yeah.
so that game, Charlotte doesn't play a ton of defense. And so I get it. I get it. I think Rollins would be my favorite out of that group though.
Okay. Yeah, I like that call. The interesting thing about that game is they play each other on Friday NBA Cup as well.
Oh.
So this is like the game that like doesn't matter, and then Friday matters, even though they both count the exact same towards your standings. Like it's kind of
the beauty of the Charlotte Hornets is all of those games pretty much matter the same to them, and that's not a lot.
So true. All right, dude. Let's. I think that was a good macro lay of the land. I will hit the people up with the teams on the back-to-backs and that sort of thing, just to make it officially official here, and then we can do kind of a rapid fire game by game here. We don't have to go deep in the player pool for most of these games, so yeah. Back-to-backs, back-end back-to-backs, some of which we are still waiting for injury reports on, include the Knicks, the Grizzlies, the Celtics, the Warriors, OKC, the Kings, and the Nuggets. So those are your 7 on the back end back-to-back. And then front end back-to-back include the Cavs, who have already ruled out half their team, Phoenix, who we already have an injury report for and nothing funky there, and then Atlanta. So, yeah, what is that? That's a total of 10 teams on back-to-backs of the 24 this evening.
Yeah, some of those back-to-backs are like the guys on the back end too, like the Warriors, which I know they kind of already told us what they're doing. Like they played 20 minutes. The Thunder played 20 minutes, like a lot of like Sabonis, I think record time fouled out last night. So a lot of those back-to-backs, like they're not like the normal, like, oh, I just played 35 minutes and we got to travel and do it again. So I wonder if it's a little less chaotic than it normally would be.
That's a really good shout. I like that. Yeah. Let's do it here, Mike. Let's talk about some of the plays in each of the games. I'll give you the rundown. 226.5 in this Knicks and Magic game. Knicks played last night against the aforementioned Memphis Grizzlies at home there. Where is... How is that not just like the first injury report on the injury report here? Like, these things got to line up for a guy trying to host a show here.
You just blame it's on Nez. Blame it on Nez. If Nez was here, that probably would have worked fine.
Yeah, it would have been perfect. Yeah. It's actually kind of funny. Like you add the most, so here's the most recent injury report. Today's at 1:30, and that game's not even on it.
Weird.
That's bizarre.
Yeah,
that must just be like a typo on the back end of the NBA stuff.
Weird.
Yeah, Knicks are nowhere to be found. Like, not even the fact that they had. Oh, there we go. Knicks just have. They didn't even list the fact that they haven't submitted yet. But Orlando's right there with the usual out tags. So normally it says not submitted, but it just doesn't even say not submitted today. All right. Interesting stuff. So still waiting for the Knicks to submit here after playing last night. And then the Magic. So draftable players here in our player pool. Some Brunson, some Cat. The models don't love Cat today.
They don't love anybody in this game today.
Yeah. And then Franz goes in the last round. Nobody drafts Bane. And Paulo is in kind of like the second/third round range. Just thoughts on it? Anyone you like, dislike, etc.?
No, I'm a little light on this. I was surprised how light the projections were. Because Orlando's been playing sneaky faster than normal, so I thought this was gonna pop a little bit more, but I don't love it. I don't love really anybody here. If Paulo falls to me, I'll take him. Brunson, I'm assuming he's gonna fall a little bit. I'll take him here and there, but I think there's just better spots.
Yeah, no, I'm fully in lockstep with you. I occasionally click a little bit of Franz in the last round. We've talked a lot about the Magic on this show. It's nice that they're playing a little bit faster, but they're also playing crazy ISO ball. Also, you're probably going to get Suggs back tonight, or you are going to get Suggs back tonight. And the minutes have been slowly ramping up. It got up to 29 last time out. Wendell Carter Jr. has been really good from a rebounding standpoint, but what are we going to do with that on a 12-game slate on our site, right?
Right.
This kind of just lays out as soft fade for me in general, and Cat's ADP is low-key the worst of the bunch. I like Cat more when he plays the 5 than when he's beside Mitchell Robinson, so we'll see. Maybe there's something there. But with how good the rebounding has been for Wendell Carter Jr., it doesn't look like a great, pile it up spot for Cat.
Yeah, I do like to highlight Nick's comment. The Knicks have like gone nuts the last 5 games. I think like the lowest they've scored is like 119 or something like that. And so maybe there is something to that we haven't caught up with how the Knicks have been playing the last week or so. But yeah, I think it'll just be when they fall. I won't like aggressively full fade. I'll make sure I'll have some shares of it. But you're right. It's all just a little too expensive with how deep the slate is.
Yeah, nice that they only ran 9 last night too. Like Mikal Bridges was like kind of like a 6th rounder that you needed, that sort of thing. You needed like to stack portions of that game. Obviously, a Memphis game plays a bit faster than a Magic game, and the defense, even though Magic defense hasn't been amazing this year,
right.
Memphis is putrid in comparison, right? So, yeah,
totally.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got that Detroit and Chicago one. We talked around this one decently there. Cade and Duran with the Q tags. Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Marcus Sasser, Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart has a doubtful tag, and Sir Thompson all have out tags. So yeah, pretty dumpster fiery in terms of like what we could get from a Pistons lineup tonight. Like Devontae Green, Ron Holland, B-Ball Paul, Duncan Robinson. Like I don't know, man.
What's this dude's name? Dennis Jenkins, Dennis Perkins. Who like lit up that game in the Wizards? I don't know. I honestly, for both of these teams, especially if Giddey's not going, I don't know. Trey Jones, like, is that where you get? There it is. There's Dennis Jenkins.
There you go. Played big time minutes last time out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge proponent of playing Trey Jones just from like an archetype of player standpoint on our site. Like, not really anything there by way of the rebounding, a couple stocks here and there, mainly dimes it up. When you take the quality of shooters off the floor around him, like then it's kind of like I'd play Vooch in the last round. And from the Detroit side, I mix and match a little B-Ball Paul or Ron Holland in the last round. I think Holland would be my favorite play of the bunch.
Yeah, I think I'm a little butthurt by Holland after the that Wizards game where I was like, this is his time to cook, and he didn't do too much. But you're probably right. Like, and Holland's got some pretty good like steal stock upside. Do you think like if with no Giddey, I haven't looked at any of the rates, but does Vooch pop more with no Giddey? Like, and especially if you take Duran off the floor, is that all of a sudden Vooch grabbing like 25 boards? But I don't know if Vooch still has that kind of big rebound game in him.
Yeah, I don't know if he still has that rebound game in him, but definitely offensive rates in terms of usage spike a little bit, but like it's push pull, right? Because you lose like the dime up potential, but the usage rates jumps like a bit basically. Yeah.
I think in 2025, like if Vooch beats me, Vooch beats me.
Sure. Yeah, I'm entirely fair with that. Like the band of projection on Vooch on a given night is dare we say Bam-esque at this point.
Bam-esque.
It's like
JPK with a good shout though. Little Ayo Dosunmu, who came back from injury, had no minute restriction and kind of cooked, but again a huge slate to be drafting Ayo off the bench.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know that I'd really want any of it. Where is your favorite spot to go right now with the Q tags in? So we project them to play. Where are you going with the Q tags?
If we project both, like everybody's in?
Well, just like as you're drafting right now, you're mentally projecting them in. Where are you taking Cade?
I mean, if we're projecting him in, like he's good to go, I will take him as high as like right after the top 4 guys, like right after like that right. Is it because we got Luka, Wemby, Jokic on the slate? Yeah, no 4. I think I would, or no SGA too. Yeah,
SGA,
I'd probably go 5. Because I really do like this game if everybody's playing. I think this is a really really fun game. I think if you remove Giddey from this equation, I think it could get pretty ugly pretty quickly. Like I think he's actually pretty important because that helps the pace and it keeps the game a little bit closer, I think. But I like we talked about at the top, man. I think I'm just gonna quietly fade both of these, like these first 2 games that we're going over.
Okay. Yeah, I respect it.
What about you? Where would you, is that like Cade same spot if you project him in?
Yeah, if he's in, especially without Dern, I'd put him there. I was getting Cade at like 12, 13, 14, 15 at times.
Whoa.
So like the combinations that you could have with Cade earlier, like especially right after that 40% unabated update of like, hey, didn't go through shoot around, that sort of thing. The biggest thing that scares me about Cade is I'm just building significantly worse teams with Cade because Cade is paired with the big boys on the left side.
Right.
So like, yeah, the Cade stuff kind of just scares me in a vacuum, even though I like the spot and I like the potential pace of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think they go tonight. Like, I don't
either.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a
I don't either. I ran like yeah, wow, I didn't realize this. I ran them at, where did I have them ranked? Because I did like a quick little auto. I had them at like 9 and I got a bunch of them in that like 10 one. So yeah, I'm with you on it. I just don't think they go. I don't think they go.
Yeah. Let's move on here. Hornets and Bucks here. 230, 229. 2 by way of the Bucks now. That has moved since the Giannis news, obviously there, but Bucks still favored in this one. Hornets still without Melo. Hornets also had a downgrade, midday downgrade on Kalkbrenner, who moved to a Q tag for personal reasons there. They still got the G Leaguers listed out, and then they got probable tags on Colin Sexton, who missed the last game, I believe. KJ Simpson as well there, and Pat Connaughton all have probable tags. So people are kind of just playing Bridges and maybe a little bit of Con in the last round. Con's box scores and his ability to fill it up across multiple categories has been pretty impressive the last like 3 or 4 games since they've given him like full run without LaMelo around. It's been pretty fun to watch too. For a dude who I thought was not that athletic is actually like quite athletic out there. Just Hornet side would be that, and then Bucks side now. We kind of talked around it earlier about who would be the swappability stuff. So who's kind of your favorite non-Bridges target, and are you taking Bridges at ADP?
I had Bridges ahead of ADP for a little while, and that had to do with I didn't think Giddey was going to play, so I moved him pretty far back, and I had Bridges up there ahead of Paolo too, and Sabonis. I think I had it. I went like Jalen Johnson, then Miles, then Paolo maybe, or Sabonis or whatever. But yeah, outside of Bridges, I like Con. That's it. I've been screaming this for a little while. I think it's just time we stop drafting Colin Sexton. Like, just he's not, he's not going to show us the ceiling. I was reading some report too that he's still kind of dealing with a nagging injury. I know he came back and started, I think, the last game, but didn't do too much with it. So for me, it's just Bridges and Con. And I love playing Kalkbrenner too, but it's probably too deep for this. And if he gets ruled out, I think I'll be tempted to throw a little Moose out there, but I don't think it's. Again, it's probably too many games for Musa.
Yeah, it was interesting that Musa Diabate started the second half of last game. Like, was that a little bit of foreshadowing? Was that because of the way Kalkbrenner was playing? Like, Kalkbrenner's been really good from a stocks perspective, like 4+ blocks a game, and then really good from a rebounding rate standpoint as well. But little thin here just in general. I want to get excited about Bobby. I will take a couple 6-round Bobbies just because the minutes have ramped up slowly. Like you guys can see, even with Giannis in there, that we did finally get up to that 27 threshold there. And that's something we've been waiting on for Bobby. And we know what he can do from a rate standpoint with Giannis off the floor. The 2 caveats I would throw out to this narrative, because this is almost like a 2-year-old narrative, is he's got Miles Turner now to deal with to battle on his own team for rebounding rate, basically. And then offensive usage standpoint, the ball and so much more of it's funneling from a distribution standpoint from Ryan Rollins than it was in the past, where he would get kind of like him and Chris Middleton trading off like ISO possessions at the elbow and that sort of thing. Well, they have like a real handler out there in this situation when Giannis is out now.
Yeah. I don't think, again, I'm going to wait till Bobby beats me. I think I'm not going to go there as long as other people are going there.
Yeah, I respect it for sure. Knipple in the last round, is that just a guy you want to get to or no?
Yeah, I'll spread it around. Like, I'm not going to try to get like 15% or anything like that, but I definitely want some con shares. I think he's, like you said, he's filling it up, man. He's doing a little bit of everything. Like, he's got like 7 boards in the last 3 consecutive, something dumb like that. Like, he's rebounding at a crazy clip. So I think it's going to be mostly Bridges and then a few con shares.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Milwaukee Kid narrative. Unfortunately, the game is in Charlotte, not in Milwaukee, but that's a fun one for the con avenue there. All right, we got Memphis and Celtics up next. They're 7.5 by way of the Celtics, a 229. Just take a peek at how this one has moved. 6.5 to 7.5 based on like the John news. Basically, there some of the most recent news, if we pull it up on the right hand side, came from this game. It was the Ja Morant Q tag, obviously second night of a back-to-back here, and we had the big long Ja discussion that he just doesn't look like himself right now. Encouraging to see Zach Edey get the first doubtful tag of the year there. He was a straight rule out in the past there, so this is kind of like the progression. Memphis is renowned to do the progression thing with their injury report in years past, so that's kind of bullish that looking toward the future there. Brandon Clark still out here. Ty Jerome still out. Scottie Pippen Jr. still out as well. So Ja's the big talking point, and then whether you want to get to JJJ or Cedric Coward, I think we were both in the similar camp there that we wanted to get a little Cedric Coward in our life if Ja does not go this evening. And then the Celtics side, you get them on a back-to-back as well. Pretty clean injury report, though. Hugo Gonzalez is the only one listed as probable. Obviously, still no Jason Tatum, that sort of thing. So, yeah, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. We've been chasing the Peyton Pritchard dragon for a little bit here. Rotationary rotationary stuff that came to mind was just like the Minot starting and then not starting, and Hugo and Jordan Walsh playing a larger role now. None of it relevant for our game. Who do you like here or dislike?
I'll draft Jaylen Brown. I mean, Jaylen Brown's been crazy efficient and like he's been putting up great numbers. The like ancillary stats haven't been there, so you need him to score like 35 to 37 actual points, but he can do it. So I'll still take some shots at JB. Derek White's kind of
second in the NBA behind Giannis in usage rate.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So like because they suck. So he has to do all of this. Derek White, I'll still draft a little bit too, because even though he's been shooting awful, like he's been terrible, he still does enough other stuff that I feel like he's not going to kill you. Like he might. And if we do finally get the good shooting game, I feel like he could help you win a slate. The Pritchard stuff, dude. Well, my hot take is like by this time next week, Anthony Simons is starting. Like I really think Pritchard's going to lose his starting spot. He's been atrocious.
And Simons had a couple of really nice stints off the bench there. And but then he had a really good stint off the bench, played the 22 minutes, got like 25 or 27 real life points. And then the next time out, he like barely plays again. Like it's just very strange. My hot take running for a while there that Anthony Simons is going to break a slate when you least expect it has kind of just been lingering.
Yeah, it's him starting is coming. I mean, Pritchard shooting like I think it's like 20% from 3 on like 9 threes a game. Like he's chucking. And I'm a big Pritchard fan. I love him. He looks rough.
Yeah, agreed. There. Anything else to say on that one? Like any like it's just Coward or JJJ, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I wouldn't even be too bummed out if you hear that Coward's not starting. I feel like they did this the last time where Ja said he didn't start, but it feels like he's locked in for somewhere between 28 and 32 minutes if Ja's out. And he's doing enough stuff that I feel like he can get there.
Yeah, I like that take a lot there. I would not be bummed out if he is not starting. Yeah, good pace up spot for like regardless if Ja goes or not, good pace up spot for the Celtics too, because Memphis kind of like fourth fastest team in the league there, and Celtics not in that category right now.
Are
So
you getting a Derek White too, or is it Jaylen Brown only for you?
I took Derek White in the last round twice, but
Okay.
I'm I agree with you. It's like he does enough from like a stocks perspective. He does enough with like he's a good like rebounding guard. Like he does enough that like when the shot does finally fall and he gets that hot night where he just hits like 9 of 11, it's like he has slate winning potential in the last round with like 58 to 62 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's move on to the next one here. This is very interesting here because we get a 238 and a half, 5.5 by way of the Heat here in the Cavs game. Cavs versus Heat here. Cavs have ruled out everybody prior to front end rest, blah, blah, blah. They got a rest designation on Mobley and Mitchell. Strus is still out. Jalen Tyson and Darius Garland. Darius Garland was a re-aggravation that led to a great left toe injury or something like that last time out. Didn't return. So Hunter's going to be in the starting lineup. Allen's got kind of like a starting streak going kind of thing, but we expect him to play full tonight. This, traditionally speaking, Mike, if you told me this at the beginning of the season before I knew how fast these two teams were going to play, or in particular the Heat were going to play, I would have just not waved this game on how big a slate this was. Yeah. Like I would have been, hey, a little bit of Jared Allen, maybe, maybe sprinkle in one Heat guy in the 6th round. We don't know which one is going to go off on any night. If you just showed me the injury reports, but man, this is a 238 and a half. Like this is a completely different Heat team in terms of pace. They just played a super fun ball game with the stars in there. I don't know. Just thoughts on, in particular, the Cavs side to start, and then we'll talk about the 6th round Heat.
Yeah, I mean, I think I am going to get to Jared Allen just because I think part of the reason I've been successful this season is so far, anyways, is because I've attacked Miami games and Portland games. Like those have been the spots where I've been playing flags because I think, like you said, remember it's like, oh wow, they're like great defensive teams or whatever. But it's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if they're playing fast. Right. So I really like going to these spots. I'm a little bit nervous about DeAndre Hunter if he is. I like it if no one is clicking DeAndre Hunter. If he starts to become a regular click, I don't know. I don't see it. My favorite thing that I threw out there this morning, and I don't think I'll be here for pick'ems, little Lonzo Ball double-double.
Ooh.
Lonzo Ball triple-double, maybe?
You think the minutes will creep up high enough for that to matter?
I just like if you can get him up to 20, he did that 26 right down there in Atlanta. You get him up to 28 minutes at this type of, I feel like he just thrives in this type of environment.
Okay. I respect it.
I don't know, just because I forget what the number was this morning when I looked, but just a little spice out there.
I like that. Yeah, that's fun. Chat talking about Gary Porter Jr. night. People would want to get excited about like potential handling there. I don't think he starts. Like I think they do the Lonzo, Dean Wade, like that sort of thing. But I could see Gary Porter Jr. playing like, I think it's more of a redacted play than an R site play. But I understand people liking the ceiling of Gary Porter Jr.
I like that you keep calling him Gary.
Oh my god!
I was like,
Gary Porter, Gary.
It's like a Gary Trent mashup. Yeah. I originally was off of the CPJ stuff, but then part of that is because Jalen Tyson was so good that I feel like he was stealing the Gary Porter. So I wonder with Tyson being out too, if Craig Porter Jr. does get a little bit more. But again, I don't know. I think for me, it's Allen, maybe a sprinkle of Hunter. I think I'm more interested on the Miami side.
Okay. Yeah, no, I respect that for sure there. I think that's a good question from Chris. Do we think Jared Allen plays full? I think if he's playing tonight and this game plays to spread in total, that yes, he plays full. Like, I don't think there's any world that they do like the Mikal Bridges of the past where it's like a pseudo start to keep a streak going. Like, we're not dealing with that long a streak. We're not dealing with I think he plays and he plays full.
And he missed so much time at the beginning of the season too. Like, that's great. That I wonder if they're just they're like letting him get his reps in because the other guys carried him for so long.
Yeah, starting to think that like, he's not even being listed anymore with that finger thing, that
Right.
he's going to be like, full.
Apparently that's what he needed to happen. His game has been like insane since having this finger injury.
Oh man. Oh, that's actually a good point from Emwald. He did lose the streak earlier this year.
Oh, I didn't even know that was an active thing.
Yeah, he missed one. He missed the Atlanta game. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, because that was always a narrative when we were talking about the Jared Allen thing. Yes, thank you for setting me straight there.
Wow.
Much appreciated. Let's have the fun conversation about the Miami stuff. Still no Hero, still no Bam. Davion Mitchell, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware. What are we clicking in the last round with the Heat? Because this is playing up to the total in a big way. Norm Powell, his minutes have gotten stronger since coming back. Had that 38. He just doesn't give you a ton outside of scoring, but the free throws are way up and the shots are way up, so that's bullish. Who would be your favorite last round click for the Heat?
I think it's those first two there. I will take a couple of shots at Ware. Like, I almost would like Ware more if Mobley was going to be out there too. Just because Spoelstra, it doesn't take much for Spo to be like, hey, you're going to play 9 minutes today. He hates Khalil Ware.
Right.
But Hawkins is incredible right now. And it's been pissing me off because I've been talking him up and then grabbing 3 shares like every single day. Sure. And I'm like, why am I not doing this more? He's been awesome. That he's doing a lot of like ball handling. It's just this game is perfect for him. So I'm gonna try to have a lot of him tonight. I think. I wish the only thing that makes me nervous is like he's now getting to a price where I'm like, am I really doing 5th round Jaime Hawk? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
sure.
I don't think I'm gonna do that. But Khalil Ware, I think people are a little bit shot, like they don't want to click him as much for good reasons. But we just saw a couple of pretty good games from him in a row, and I like him.
Yeah, it's crazy that Khalil Ware could be in a bigger doghouse after ripping 20 boards against this very team, that he would be in a bigger doghouse than the dude that banged his wife. So,
I know. But I'm telling you, man, you see any clip of Spoelstra talking about Khalil Ware, and it's like, yeah, he filled up the box score, but I watched him, and he sucked. Like, he's brutal. He's brutal to Khalil.
Yeah. Yeah, those stats look great, buddy, but
yeah, I know ball.
Yeah. We're cool with Jaime off the bench, like nothing to be concerned about there.
I think so. I mean, he's still gonna play. Like his rates are nuts. Like I think he's he's like filling up in all 3. I feel like he's a little Denny. Like he's got a little Denny Avdia in him.
I like that. That's a really nice comp. He's also been really strong on the defensive end. Like he's he was like top 20 in defensive rating relative to minutes played.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really, really impressive stuff. This would have been a classic Bam Ty Jerome spot.
I know.
That would have been, last year we would have been clamoring, pre watching Ty Jerome play in the postseason. We would have been jamming Ty Jerome.
That was so bad.
Next one up, Pels and Blazers here. Denny Avdia with a really high price tag, as he always does, and then basically nobody else going on the Blazers. You could get me excited about playing Drew. You could get me excited about the Shaedon Sharpe efficiency and usage. I love that stuff for him. But the minutes aren't full there yet. They're still kind of like soft cap. But 8.5 by way of the Blazers there for a 231.5 here. And then the Pels continue life without DeJounte Murray, life without Zion. We got killed on a 0.5 hook on the Derek Queen pick'em the other night. That was so gross.
That was gross.
No Jordan Poole here as well. Obviously no Scoot, Dame Lillard, Thibault, and Blake Wesley on the other side. So, do you like Trey Murphy this evening? He kind of goes back into the 5th almost every time, start of the 6th, and then Denny in the 2nd round. What are your thoughts?
I will take some Trey. I'm not trying to get super overweight, but I'm trying to be consistent where I like taking teams against Portland because of how fast they play. But I am excited about Holiday. I've been playing him almost every slate. And he's been a little sloppy with the ball, which has kind of hurt some of his ceiling. I feel like he's had a couple of high turnover games, but Drew he's doing a little bit more offensively. And again, he's similar to like Derek White, right? Where he can he can do a little bit of everything. Like, look at that. I mean, like 13, 7, and 7, and he still didn't really kill you. Like, he didn't crush for you, but he didn't kill you. So I like him a lot in the 6th round. My only concern is this game is just going to be awful and that the Blazers ended early. But I don't know. The Pellies have been hanging around a little bit.
Yeah, I like that shout. I don't think I'll play anyone on the Pels. Maybe a little bit of Trey Murphy. We finally saw ceiling game 2 times ago for him, but I have the same concerns as you on a 12-game slate where it's just like this one falls flat on its face, and it's just like Denny does enough in like 28 minutes to warrant his price tag. But yeah, if I was gonna pinpoint like some potential like blowout risk game here, this would kind of be it.
I think when I do take Trey, I will take him with another Blazer. Like, I think that's what I will do.
Sure.
And just be like, let's hope this game stays competitive.
Yeah, that's a good shout there to do like Trey with Denny or do Trey with Holiday in the last round there.
Yeah, and I normally don't force that in bigger slates. I won't like make that a priority or anything, but with that type of game where I'm like nervous, like I don't know if Drew's going to get there, it means Trey might get there too. I don't know. Maybe it's bad math, but
the math be mathin' for me. Sadiq Bey's been kind of nice with it, but way too deep a slate to play him, I think. But just nice to see those 29s for the best ball bags there. And then Jeremiah Fears, man, it's been interesting. He gets cut short a couple times there. These feel like they should be really good spots without Zion and Poole, and we just haven't fully seen ceiling yet. Derek Queen kind of getting the blowout time run the other night and doing all his damage in the last round. It's just, they're not fun clicks right now.
No.
We've got so much value in other spots for the 6th round.
Yeah, and it's not a fun game to watch either. So, like, the Pelicans are a tough hang.
Yes, well said. Rockets, Wizards have played tighter than these spreads in the past against good teams, most recently against Detroit, where they were like 10 or 11 there and as a spread. And they kept it tight enough to push to overtime and really push that slate. Alex Sarr continues to have a high ADP. I put Alfred Şengün on the cover in hopes that he could do enough in 28 minutes this evening to run the whole offense through him, because I think it's a really good spot for him tonight, and then a not so great spot for him on Friday. On Friday. So I was really like bullish of like, you win this game by going flow chart on Sarr this evening, and you run your offense through him, and you kind of take your foot off the gas on like KD and stuff like that. And then you get the Portland pace up game in the NBA Cup on Friday, and you run like that's Almond's music, that's KD from the elbow music, that sort of thing. So I don't know. That was a little bro sciencey. This is 17-point favorites to the Rockets, and 3 of them go in every single draft. 1 Wizard goes every single draft. That's Sarr. And then you could maybe mix and match some guys in the last round. Thoughts here?
No, I like that. I like that with Şengün to be just mainly because with the other guys getting ruled out around him or questionable tags, like I'm not even thinking about it. Like when Şengün arrives, we'll just take him. I've been taking Ahmed over KD just because I feel like Ahmed feels a little bit safer. But yeah, that is a good point. I mean, this is like a college football spread. This is kind of crazy to see it this high. But CJ's been dropping like 40 a game recently. So if he's able to do that and keep this thing relatively close. But there was also a game like a week ago where it was blowout time, and Ime left Şengün in there because he was like 1 assist shy of a triple double and gave him like 2 extra minutes, and he ended up not getting it. So listen, if that's what you need, if you're like, hey, it might be a blowout, but maybe if he's just an assist shy, they'll give him an extra two minutes in garbage time.
I love that. That's the ball watcher in you, Mike. I love that take there. I missed that one entirely. The only injury stuff I would share here, no DFS on the Rocket side and no Bilal Coulibaly on the Wizards side. This is a Cam Whitmore revenge game for those playing at home. That garbage time run is going to cook. I don't know what to say here other than, maybe some CJ in the last round, but if it goes to garbage time, he gets cut short. The Keyshawn George stuff with CJ taking a more of an offensive role and Middleton playing more minutes and stuff. He's kind of taking a back seat on the offensive end. So it's really just the Rockets here and SAR, and I don't particularly like the SAR price tag and or matchup. I was taking AD over it almost every time.
I'll take a few shares of SAR just because I'm like you, I don't want to, and then it seems like he gets there every slate. I feel like he's still getting there. So I will try to take some of them just so I'm not a full fade. But I will be light on him for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that stance in general there. And I do like the Amen over KD stance of the, run the younger guy Fuller in this spot. And then KD, the cup game is kind of more his music kind of deal. I like that take.
Well, and you shouted it out too, or it was either you or Nez, but like at some point we get the Amen stock game, right? Like
right.
it's got to come at some point, and the Wizards are born for that.
I've gone down this rabbit hole, Mike, of like how would I break down the stats that I need to look at to find out how much off ball he has been playing to like get in lanes. And I'm not getting any good answers from anyone who is smart within the community, where it's just like, I don't know, man. We got handling stats, we got drive stats, we got defensive rating stats. I don't have anything to tell you whether he's playing more or less on ball, right?
Yeah, nobody can figure it out.
Yeah, nobody can figure it out. Eggers, nobody's saying nobody can't draft SAR, but yeah, he's going to always project like a little bit worse than where his current ADP is. I will definitely be drafting SAR today, even though the matchup, isn't my favorite, but they still just find ways to get him 33 minutes every damn time and let him get his on the offensive end. Like the Wizards go as far as SAR is willing to take them, but I just really like the Sengun side of things here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Warriors and Spurs up next here, 3.5 by way of the Spurs here, 232.5. These teams actually, so obviously we had the blowout last night where OKC takes it to the Warriors, which now has more Warriors players in today than we would have originally probably thought here because of the shortened minutes last night. And then these teams play each other again on Friday for the NBA Cup game there too. Just really important Warriors Western Conference games early in this season. Like their record is gross right now. I think they only got 3 wins on the season. They play OKC last night, and now they have to play Spurs, and get the Wemby treatment here. So, yeah, it's just tough schedule for them, especially for the oldest team in basketball. Probably going to be a post start spot this evening. Post has the probable tag. And then we have Kuminga is the only one to receive a Q tag on the back-to-back here. Spurs still without Dylan Harper, if you know, you know, and the G Leaguers there. So, yeah, just thoughts on this one. Is Wemby your 101? Do you like any auxiliary pieces, etc.?
Yeah, I like dock the big man against Golden State typically, but it is Wemby, and that's not a normal big man. I've been going back and forth with Wemby and Jokic. I'm trying to stay even, just because I'm terrified of a Jokic Q tag coming down the pipeline. So I'm trying to stay relatively even and rotating that around. I'm going like the Warriors look pretty bad, man, and I know the schedule is rough. It's tough for them, but the offense has looked pretty stagnant. Like they haven't been. I mean, I know Steph's been battling an illness, but Jimmy doesn't look 100%. I normally like these spots with the Spurs. I don't know. I'm going to take some Steph in the 6th round. I'm going to force some Jimmy, Wemby. I love Castle. Castle just gets there, man. Castle gets there every slate. So I'll keep taking him.
Yeah, Castle's like poor man Amen vibes, where it's like he just does a little bit in every category, like across the board in terms of the way he scores fantasy points, not necessarily like stylistically, but
right.
like, yeah, just like the way he does it is it's like, it's not the sexiest thing in the world to watch. He's not beating everyone off the dribble. He's not icing threes over everybody's heads, but he's just slowly accumulating every single night that he plays.
Yeah, and small sample size, but in the couple games we've seen with Fox and Castle, especially because Harper's out, you're not really seeing a usage downgrade or anything like that. So
right.
It's not too bad. Yeah, I really like clicking his name. And yeah, you said poor man Amen. I agree with you, except he's been getting stocks like rich man Amen. Like
right, yeah, like OG Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had like 5 assists off Cornet lobs. Love
Hell
that.
Yeah.
Fuck
Hell yeah.
Interesting news on the right-hand side of the screen there. Bradley Beal undergoing season-ending hip surgery. Holy shit.
Wow.
Second oldest team in the league, showing their age right now. That's a tough break for them.
Wow.
Yeah, expect a lot of John Collins in the future here.
Seriously.
Yeah, like just starting. Yeah, obviously not positional overlap, but just the way in which you would construct your lineup now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I agree with you there. I like Fox in the last round. I like some Steph in the last round. I like a little bit of a game correlation if you do like Steph in the fifth and Fox in the last or something like that. Yeah, outside of it, I think there's probably only like 4 playable players on our site tonight from this game, maybe 5. Yeah, 5, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby, Castle, Fox, Steph, and Jimmy low key kind of being my least favorite of the bunch, though.
Yeah.
I like it a little bit more if no Kuminga. I would say that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Like if people are gonna get Galbrainy with like their swaps and they're gonna try and jam like Ryan Rollins and Cooper Flagg and guys like this for the AD swapper, or they're gonna do Ron Holland for the Detroit stuff, B-Ball Paul for the Detroit stuff, I might just be the guy who swaps to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think that's smart.
Like right? It's just like if people are gonna get super cute with this, I might just be the dude who plays a perennial all-star as the swap and hope the game plays as tight as the spread indicates.
Yeah, give me the guy that normally plays basketball, not Paul Reed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Next one up here, Suns and Mavs, 227.5 here. One by way of the Suns. You pointed out this spread earlier here, Mike, how it was kind of like get your Windhurst up when it comes to AD. We talked about the narrative surrounding AD right now with the Nico wanting to play and, maybe not playing because of it or whatever, risk of Achilles injury with the calf strain here. Cooper Flagg had a breakout performance last time out. It was on the back of PJ Washington having a couple quick ones against Giannis on the defensive end there. And then Cooper Flagg kind of goes not nuts, but he does a lot with his opportunity there. Still pretty raw looking out there, as Nez noted the other day. Derek Lively has the Q tag, which is an upgrade from the doubtful tag there. So we could see some more splitting of the 5 minutes. I don't think Gafford or anything like that would be playable on our site. Anyways, the big thing here is, where are you ranking Booker at the front end of drafts there? And then can we play anybody else in this game other than the ADQ tag?
Yeah, I mean, I have Booker right around 9 right now, just because I had jumped him up ahead of or 8 or 9, I guess, because I jumped him up ahead of Cat, removing Giannis, and then I kind of flip-flopping him and Denny. So I'll still take Booker, but I mean, like, Dallas still does play defense, so I'm not like thrilled to just go nuts on this game. One thing I'm kind of interested in, though, if Lively gets ruled out and AD does not play, I mean, like, I think PJ is a great swap, and I'll definitely get there. That might get me a little bit more excited about Mark Williams here super late. I might like splash some Mark Williams around, a guy who can get you to 50 fantasy points in like 28 minutes. Or who knows, maybe Grayson Allen is just a 42 real life point guy now.
Here we go. Anthony Davis out. So we got that news right as we're talking about it. Perfect. And we got it earlier than speculating it the rest of the day. So, yeah, I mean, let's just talk about it. Grayson Allen, we were joking the other night that Grayson Allen had a better game than Cade, and yet Cade was the guy with 90 fantasy points and broke the slate and whatever. Grayson Allen had a really strong night the other night. Get a little marked up in our lives here. I think we're going to get Brandon Williams probably starting again here. They went with that over the D'Lo stuff. Max Christie's been hitting some threes and mixing in here. Not that it matters for our game, but I think it's probably going to be Flagg and PJ Washington. I think we both kind of prefer PJ Washington there, just rebounding rate uptick, that sort of deal without AD out there.
Yeah, I will say I've been going to PJ because it felt like people were going to Flagg first.
Sure, okay.
And so that was a big part of it. And I agree with you. I still think I'm going to go to PJ, and I'll move him into the 6th round now. I think that is because I think he can get there in a lot of different ways, and it's not like Phoenix is this stout defensive team, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Don't want to play any of the centers, even though sometimes we like to attack the Mark Dub matchup. I'm just not really comfortable with Gafford or Lively on this slate where like neither of them are going to touch 30, right? Like if they're both in, like, you know, we're going to get 24 and 18 and some overlap somewhere else kind of vibe.
Right. Yeah, you can't touch it.
Yeah, there's no minute ceiling there. Brennan Williams, just for shorter slates in the future, if he continues to start here, guys, just keep it as a name in the back of your mind. Like, we used to get excited about like Hardy when he used to start, like Jaden Hardy and like that sort of thing. Like Brandon Williams is kind of like you know, he ate the Mario mushroom version of Jaden Hardy when he does end up starting. We love to play him. I guess that was 2 years ago on the 10-day, that sort of stuff. Yeah, he's a fun guy on the short slate stuff. But Booker, Mark Dubb, Flag, and PJ all in play. Flag, PJ, and Mark Dubb will probably project slightly better than 6th round right now, but you're going to be able to get them in the 6th round all day. If it starts getting steamed because of this and people start jamming like Flag and PJ at like pick 22 over and over again, I'll slowly pump the brakes. And yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, cool. We got 3 more left here. Lakers and OKC. OKC news just came in. I'll read that off for everybody. 7 points by OKC. They did not get stretched last night. The bench played the vast majority of the fourth quarter, or actually the entirety of the fourth quarter there. SGA did not step on the floor there. 227.5 here by way of the, overarching total there. 7 for the Thunder as home favorites, second night back-to-back. Luka and Reeves go every single time and nobody else from the Lakers. I thought Reeves' price tag was a little high in this isolated matchup. And then on the Thunder side of things, I got to get my new injury report here. It is on the right-hand side of the screen there. But Lou Dort, who has now missed 5 or 6 in a row, is going to miss again this evening. And then Aaron Wiggins, who has missed, I think, 2 in a row, maybe 3 in a row, now is going to miss as well. Still no J-Dub. Yeah, that's the relevant stuff there. LeBron had some bullish news this morning that he was practicing with the G League team in full, so that's kind of fun for the future outlook of the Lakers. Just put that on your radar going forward. Chet being ruled in already is bullish because he had one of the most efficient nights we have ever seen, ? Yeah, last night with 20 and 10 without missing a shot in the first half.
In like 24 minutes for 25 was something stupid like that. Yeah.
Incredible.
I think Dort being out makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with the Reeves price tag. That helps, I think. Not that it's all of a sudden an awesome matchup, but just get rid of one more defender. That's good news for Luka too. I think I'm good with DeAndre Ayton tonight on this slate. And then I'll just SGA and Chet, and it's pretty boring. Like, I'm just give me the 4 best players from this game.
Yeah, I like it. Any love for just knowing that AJ Mitchell will be in there and log some big minutes again, kind of deal?
Yeah, probably not getting there tonight though. I mean, I think like you said, too big of a slate. I mean, if he continues to shoot, like if his true shooting percentage continues to be like 78% or whatever the hell it is, then maybe we're gonna keep playing AJ. But yeah, I'm with you. And to JMC's point in the chat, I'm just happy I'm not gonna get burned by like 4th round iHeart today, because that was just so dumb.
Yeah, I've been on the record over and over. He has no offensive bag. He has no ceiling. And then he goes out there and scores 33 with 19 boards. And it's like, what the fuck? Like,
it was so dumb. So dumb.
Yeah. I think we return back to this. I will say Hartenstein, like just from a real life basketball player and like rim protection and all that sort of stuff, defensive rating on him, Kaysen Wallace, and AJ Mitchell has been like so effing strong. Like defensive rating, I was looking at this morning. Like, people just don't. I don't think people fully grasp how tough the OKC matchup is when we're just jamming slates and looking at projections. Hartenstein, Wallace, AJ Mitchell, and SGA are all in the top 6 of defensive rating this year.
That's why they're 11-1 without their freaking second best player playing basketball yet.
It's incredible. Like, people we don't give enough credit for how good this basketball team is. Like, it's just truly sick.
Yeah, it is. They're nasty.
Yeah. Um. All right, we got Hawks and Kings here. A 233.5, 3.5 by way of the Hawks there. I have not seen a Kings report yet. They are listed as a non-submitted. The remaining non-submitteds right now are the Nuggets and the Kings that we are waiting on. But we got Nickeil Alexander-Walker with a Q tag here, which he's been dealing with for 3 games now. And has not played. And Jalen Johnson came back last game out. Still no Trae Young here. Yeah, people are getting excited to do the Jalen Johnson, the Dyson Daniels in the last round, that sort of stuff. Is there anything else? Like, do you want to do some zinger in this one? How do you feel about the Hawks side first?
No, yeah, if it's smaller slate, maybe zinger. I just like if it's still going to be 26 minutes, he needs to play like Chet Holmgren did last night in order to matter, right? So,
yeah,
I will continue to go back to JJ and Dyson though. I like Dyson a lot more before ETR projections came out when his ADP was like 35.9 or whatever. Like then I liked it a lot then. But it's a good matchup. I also think they had a win against the Clippers, I think, the last time out, and neither of it, like both JJ and Dyson did okay, but nobody went nuts. And then like you had Jalen miss a couple of games, but this is like a great spot, and the offense is pretty condensed down. So I really do like both of them.
Yeah, no, I like that show. I do really like the point you made about the zinger stuff, and I made it on the show the other day, and he had 38 fantasy points. Oh yeah, awesome stuff. Like you know that's a nice outing, and it's probably viable in the 10-person drafts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I mean. Like, but the importance that why we talk about rotations, why we talk so much about minutes and stuff like this is because everything on this game can be boiled down to a fantasy point per minute output in a given spot relative to the push-pull of other players on the team and that sort of things. All of it can usage rate, defensive stuff, everything we can put into a fantasy point per minute projection and that sort of thing. And Zinger is just never going to pop on a 12-game slate, even though we know he's crazy talented and this is a good spot and this is a pace spot if he's going to play 26 minutes, right? And we have no reason to believe with the mystery illness and the games missed and stuff that he's going to eclipse 30 tonight because he hasn't yet, right?
Yeah,
and,
I mean, the last game was a competitive game against the Clippers, and they needed him, and he played 26 minutes. So it's just like, this is a 6-game slate. I'd be slamming him, but on this, there's just too many games. There's too many games for it.
Yeah, no, fully agree with you there. I would rather chase the minute ceiling elsewhere of a similar rate player.
Yeah, just go grab Dyson. I mean, that's like,
right.
They're both 6-rounders.
Yeah, they're both right beside each other. Okay, the Kings side is going to be really interesting to talk through just in general here because we have done so much weird stuff with the Kings recently. Sabonis, who always is renowned for playing through the Q tags and that sort of thing, ended up missing a game with the Q tag. He was an early list as a game time decision last time out, then ends up playing last night, ends up fouling out, barely plays, 22, 20. Oh, it's 25. 25. Yeah. We haven't seen ceiling Sabonis yet this season. This is a decent spot for ceiling Sabonis, but when everybody's in here, it's really tough to decide, who is the potential ceiling output. There's going to be a lot of push-pull if we get like a Q tag or an out tag on some of these guys. Levine's dealt with the Q tag off and on a couple times and missed a game like 4 games ago. We could speculate till we're blue on the face who could potentially get a Q tag, but who would be kind of like your favorite play here, just like in a vacuum relative to ADP, because Sabonis is the only one getting drafted with regularity. People are talking about Russell Westbrook birthday, even though he did not start last night. They did the Precious Achiuwa thing, which we talked about on the show, that it was going to be most likely that they would do that route. He still played 31. So, just thoughts here. Second night of a back-to-back against Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it's just if we don't get any Q tags, it's Sabonis probably right around ADP, and then that's it. I don't think I'm going to get to anywhere else. Maybe you get cute with Russ swaps if you want to. I just don't think I'm drafting Levine and DeRozan. Like Russ, at least I know can get me like 14, 12, and 12 or something and get there, where Levine, I'm going to need him to score 50 points, or DeRozan's going to have to get like 40 and 8. You know what I mean? Like I don't really trust that. So I don't know. If everybody's healthy, it's Sabonis and that's it. But I don't know. Are you getting to any of those guys?
I have not yet. No.
Yeah.
I think Russ would be the most exciting. Second night of a back-to-back after playing 31 is kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
But like the fact that they're at home, so there's no travel, and this birthday note narrative with a dude who is petty as fuck, which I always loved about on dudes who just drive a narrative. Like if you went narrative street on him versus the first game of the Nuggets after the Nuggets told him not to play the player option, then it's like, oh yeah, that's a narrative that it sounds anecdotal and it wouldn't matter for most players, but Russ kind of fucking matters.
Well, maybe he celebrated his birthday last night.
That's true.
He wanted to go out after.
Yeah, him and James Harden, a little Magic City trip or something.
There we go. There we go.
I agree with you, Mike. I think it's Sabonis at ADP, and it's wait for the news. If there was anything to get ahead of, I think it would be Russ or DeMar. I have a soft spot for playing DeMar because I think he can do something across multiple categories, kind of like Siakam sometimes, but with a little bit of stock upside. It's so hard on a 12 gamer.
Yeah.
I'd rather shoot for guys who are going to play 38 minutes or something, like crazy outliers.
Yeah. I agree with that. I like him more than Levine. I had a lot of DeMar last night. So yeah, I'm fine with that too. I just would prefer a Q tag to come out.
Yeah. Why and how does everybody know the birthday narrative every day? There's Twitter accounts that tweet out narrative street birthdays and stuff like that. You could find it if you go searching. Clippers and Nuggets here. This is the other injury report we are not without yet, or we are without thus far. Nuggets 2.5 point road favorites. Second night of the back-to-back we talked about. Jamal coming in with this issue over and over again with the probable tag. We had a pre-probable tag on Aaron Gordon last night. Joker played great last night. What didn't factor into the winning lineup, but still scored 60 fantasy points. He has 6 triple doubles on the season right now. Next closest player is 2, and I think there's only 7 guys in the NBA who have a triple double yet this season, and he has 6 of them. It's just it's truly crazy. Clippers, man, without Kawhi, without Beal, all this stuff, we're gonna have these spots where Zoobs is always going to project better than his ADP, and Harden's always going to project better than his ADP. Harden got there in a big way last time out against Atlanta, but you had to not draft it at the ceiling. You had to let it kind of fall to you and draft it at ADP because the projection models are always going to love them more than the ADP. Let's start with the Clippers side there first. Just thoughts on, how you're treating Harden, and is there anybody else you want to get to?
Yeah, I'll take some Z. This is as cheap as you're going to get Zubac. I'm not really scared of, the Onyeka Porzingis stuff. He's going to have to do more. So I will still get there. I'm not going to be super overweight, not planting a flag on it, but I definitely want some. Harden, I will click at ADP all day long. And then that's it. I'm not talking myself into John Collins, even if he's starting and has more minutes. It's just, it's going to be Harden and Zubac.
I like it. I respect it for sure. I did a couple Zubac picks this morning here. I will note this one caught me by surprise. And you can say a lot about what you think about net defensive rating stats and that kind of stuff and give it credence or whatever, but I think it's an okay benchmark. Wemby's number 1 in the league, Hartenstein's number 2, Joker's number 3. Fact that we used to do these as long as you stay out of foul trouble against Joker, you could do some back and forth center correlation stuff. I'm not sure that narrative's there right now. He is cooking in a big way, but he's also D'ing up pretty nice. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of noise in the sample. Maybe there's some matchup based stuff. Maybe he's had, cupcake shit go his way thus far. But yeah, I found that very interesting.
Yeah, that I was surprised by that. I went and looked up because I have this in my back of my head, I was does Zubac do really well against Jokic? But I might have been on the defensive end where he makes it a little bit tougher for Jokic. But he's got 15 and I think he's 15, 10 and 4, something like that. His last 10 games against Jokic. So I don't
15, 10 and 4.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not great. That's not going to get it. We probably need closer to 20 and 12. But I'm gonna get there a little bit, especially with no Kawhi. He's gonna have to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Also, did I say I'm not scared of anybody on Atlanta? Did I make it sound like they were going up against Onyeka when I said I'm not scared of the bigs over there? Whatever. I think my brain is short circuiting where I was like, I forgot Zubac was going up against Jokic until you started talking. So my bad.
No, you're good. Yeah, let's talk about the Denver side then. We could speculate on the potential Q tags. I know you had your Winhurst up for the Joker thing. I kind of agreed with you. I was taking Wemby over him. I was taking Luka and Joker, kind of like splitting the difference early on here. I think if anybody sits on the back-to-back, the most obvious candidate would be Jamal Murray. Just because he's been dealing with, what is it, the left leg hamstring something, whatever, that he's been listed with night after night after night. I preemptively do it with the P tag the night before. He missed the previous back-to-back the second night. He was a Q tag and out. So I'm kind of I'm kind of like pumping the brakes on like the projection telling you to jam Jamal in the last round every single time, because this is a pace down spot. This isn't the greatest spot in the world to begin with. Second night of a back-to-back, I think he's the most likely rest candidate, but we could see, the Joker Q tag pop up as well.
Can I tell you, my very first draft of the morning, got a sip of coffee before I even built thumbnails. Was like, let me just get in, get a feel for the lobby. Looked at some lines, took Wemby 101, and then with pick 36, Jonas Valanciunas.
Oh, nasty work.
I threw him in there.
Just got to get ahead of that. You still have that Andre Drummond vibes from yesterday.
I do. Ride the backup big heater, baby. B-ball, Paul, and Jonas night. No, I'm with you. I think Jokic is going to go. The line I thought was a little bit fishy, but then I was like, they are on the road. It is a back-to-back. Clippers are fresh, or as fresh as that old ass team could be. That maybe, maybe it is Jamal, maybe it is Aaron, but Jokic is on like a crazy heater right now. So I wouldn't be stunned if we get a tag here when they finally submit. But I think I would rank them Aaron, Jamal, Jokic in the order that they might get ruled out.
Aaron, Jamal, Jokic in terms of okay, cool. Yeah, I like it. I think you're onto something there. Joval would become, a great swap. Everybody knows what he can do from a rate standpoint. I like that shout. I actually like the narrative street of between us of if we somehow got, we already got the Giannis out. If we got Joker out, I'd rather play Joval than anyone on the Bucks. Whereas years past, it would have been a jam Bobby Portis spot, and it wouldn't have been like that cut and dry, or it would have been like pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I'd prefer Jonas for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, we just got another update. This is weird. Another weird update from the Mavs owner has requested medical data to ensure Anthony Davis isn't at risk of aggravating calf strain before returning. So I guess he's doing his further due diligence based on how Nico was fucking up in the past, and now he's making it abundantly clear.
So his medical staff is doing their job? What the
right.
fuck is that update?
What an update.
Hey, we decided our trainer's gonna do what he went to school for.
Right.
That's a crazy report.
Oh man, that's hysterical. Mike, that's it, man. That is 12 up and 12 down. We went through all the games. We went through all the relevant plays from each of the games. I know I kept you overtime here. I'm going to rip a couple drafts and stuff like that. If you had to leave the people with one, parting glimmer of this is the play, this is the hope, this is the scroll, this is the mindset tonight, hit them with it.
Yeah, I think the Atlanta game is going to be is what's going to take you home. Atlanta, and then maybe some Drew Holiday in the 6th too. I think Drew Holiday in the 6th. I'm buying.
Okay, cool. So Atlanta, that you were talking about the Dyson Daniels stuff. We weren't as thrilled with the Zinger minute stuff.
Dyson and JJ. I think we've got a 50-point JJ game.
Ooh, okay, 50-point Jalen Johnson game.
Fantasy point.
Yeah,
Fantasy
point.
For
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff, man. Appreciate you hopping on short notice and filling in for Nez, man. The swaps
Yeah,
definitely
man.
slapped today.
Anytime. Thanks for getting me back on here. And yeah, we'll see you in the lobbies, babies. See you guys.
Peace out, buddy. All right, guys, we're gonna rip a couple drafts here and then call it a show there. I thought that was a very good and thorough breakdown. Draft number 21 for your boy. Did not get a ton in last night because I was smelling the roses there. I was playing a little puck last night. So yeah. Shout out to Sanjay Rich in here, Buster Boys is in here, and J-Cam's in here as well. If you are all your money or the mattress 89, say what up. Jay Fresh rolling on through with 5 Badge Bros memberships. Appreciate you, my friend. Much love. That's 15 on the day, 10 from Davis and 5 from our guy Jay Fresh. We'll make good on those with some no strip Nez's coming up here. Might run another paywall show tomorrow there. We did a forward facing on Monday. We did paywall yesterday. We got a short slate dynamic plus Thursday night football tomorrow. I'm thinking paywall tomorrow. We'll make good on those 15 Badge Bros memberships there. And then off it on the clock on Friday for our full football breakdown there. So much love, Jay Fresh. Always hanging out. Thank you. Love you guys, Stitch. That's what's up, baby. Easy rolling through GM, John. Important question, game theory question. Let me hear it. Yes, Noah, I will give you my favorite 6th round scrolls as well. Absolutely. Yeah, we kind of talked around them as we went, but yeah, this is going to be interesting to walk through on the fly here. So Joker's still going 1-0-1. We just laid it out. Mike and I just laid it out that we think it's Aaron Gordon and Jamal are more likely to sit than he is, but we're not ruling it fully out. Yeah, the Cade stuff. Cade is going to project so much better than where he's at right now. But it's hard to take him there because he's going to be available all day there, right? John, who is the Taysom Hill of hoops? You can't say TJ McConnell. Okay. Let me think about it in a second here. I'm going to pass on Cade here. Just room dynamics. He continues to fall. I did want the Sengun one there. Harden has found his way all the way up here. Feels fine. Let's be the guys that flip the board, man. You guys, I think it's a very flat tier. Cat is going to fall way down here. Booker is going to always be paired here because people that are fading the Cade. I think if we do Cade at 7, first of all, if you're doing the Q tag stuff, do Cade at 6 because of the swaps. You get him at 6. He'll have full swap priority over the round behind. So do Cade at 6, not 7. So do Cade there. But I'm going to pass on the Cade stuff. Say Cade doesn't play tonight. And we're going to go with Mike's thesis here that Jalen Johnson, who primarily goes on the left side of the board, now we're going to pull him all the way up to the right side of the board. He goes for 50 real life fantasy points this evening. We pair those two together. Okay. Duren and Cade together, woke or broke. One sits and you're set. Both play, you're good. Both sit, who cares, good or bad. I would say that this is a very specific to their ADP questions. I think if you can do it with like the Wemby team or the Joker team on the left side of the board, I would do it. I think it is woke. I'm a little scared that the Duren one is a midday downgrade and wasn't originally on the injury report. We talked about the dynamics that they're both going to sit, but I wouldn't build my portfolio around it. But if you wanted to do it at this turn together instead of doing like Giddey plus Cade or Giddey plus Duren, and you wanted to take the shot, that even though I think there is positive correlation in Giddey playing this evening if both of them play, but if you wanted to take the shot on both of them I like it because you're contrarian because nobody's going to put both of them together. I did it twice earlier, I will say that, but nobody's going to put them together most naturally. So I think it's pretty woke. I think it's a pretty woke thesis there. I think it's a good call. I think if you had gun to my head, I think between the two, I think Cade's more likely to play. I would say that. but I think both are going to rest tonight. Okay, so the Taysom Hill of hoops. Okay. Fuck, this is a tough question. So we need someone who never projects well, but has that dog in him, has the high variance random ceiling outputs, but is rarely ever drafted outside of very specific circumstances. That's a tough question. I'd say Andre Drummond last night kind of fits that mold. Like he's never drafted. But he's more of a contingent play than Taysom Hill is. Like Taysom Hill isn't like a full contingent play. Yeah, it has to be someone who ruins ceiling outcomes for other guys as well. I like that. Yeah, Drummond's a decent call because he ruins the ceiling outcomes of the other guys. Let me think here. I like the top end here. We already flipped the board here in a contrarian fashion. I really like the JB play tonight. He's full. He's second in the NBA in usage. It's a pace-up matchup. Maybe no jaw on the other side, which you could argue is maybe bad for him because you want the nah wave off ball jaw defense there. And then we could do Brunson or Almond here. I'm going to play the Almond stuff because Mike liked Almond tonight and was taking him over KD. I like the young legs front end of a weekend set here, or of a NBA Cup set there. I like that. Yeah, Westbrook, Naz Reid. Naz Reid's the answer. Naz Reid is a very, very good answer. You know, we all want to play Naz Reid, but like nobody really wants to click it until we have other guys ruled out in front. Naz Reid is a really good answer. Shout out Davis Gaming. That's a really good answer. Westbrook, good answer as well, but people really like to click Russell Westbrook no matter what the circumstances are. Melly Bell received a free membership for the month the other day. Thank you, fellas. Love it. Continue to hang out. Continue to draft these games alongside us. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll make good on those memberships. That was a ball knower take. Naz Reid was the take, man. Yeah, 6th rounders. Noah, we'll get to the 6th round because we're in the 5th round right now. We're in the 4th round. Don't worry, we'll get to the 6th round and then we'll lay it all out. We'll see who's available. Yeah, guys, if you play the projection game tonight or you play the drag and drop CSV tonight, you're going to get a ton of Ja Morant. You're going to get a ton of, just jamming the best plays at the back end opposed to diversifying the plays at the back end. But as you guys can see with the solver tool here, that like the projections of like Ryan Rollins or something at 39 and the projection of Derek White at 37, like we're dealing with such narrow bands of projection, but people treat them as absolute. You know what I mean? Like Jrue Holiday's buried down here, Dyson Daniels buried down here, and like the projection difference and the projection gap is not that great, I wonder what Trey Johnson is projected at tonight because he is a guy who could run deep in a blowout here. I'm just curious. Obviously not playable on our slate tonight, but I am a Trey Johnson guy. I think he can score. I think he can fill it up. Yeah, we will do the 6 rounders in a half second here, Noah, and then I will address some of the other stuff that's going on in the chat. Swish saying he's capping his drafts off with Hunter or Jaime. Yeah, both great clicks, both underpriced clicks. Jaime going a little bit higher here. Mattress takes him at 27 there, but that just speaks to the fluidity of like the tier break after Steph Curry. You guys can see Buster Boys jamming the projection of Steph Curry at 23 when Steph Curry was available at 35 earlier this morning. Have a couple 6th round Steph Curry teams, which I found out was I thought it was a little odd, guys, because they announced yesterday that Steph was going to play and that Draymond was most likely going to sit, and yet everybody was treating the Q tag quite real. I like the pull up of Chet there. I think this is a really strong fifth round of some of the targets to pull up there. Trey Murphy's fine here. John Morant's fine here. Zoobs is fine. Paired with Harden is okay. Let's do it for our guy Eggers in the chat. We'll take Ryan Rollins. Yeah, he's going to project better than this. He's going to be the lead handler. He gets a soft matchup this evening. I don't know if he can do a lot with the scoring prowess, but I think he's okay. Click tonight. Hunter feels like a good pick. Trey Murphy feels like the best available pick. Drew Holiday was a guy that Mike was in on, so we're going to hat tip to Mike and select him here. I think taking Westbrook or taking JJJ and getting ahead of the Morant and or Sabonis news makes a lot of sense. I think those are really good guys who could spike in projection. DeMar DeRozan, same thesis there. I think Ja, just because you can have a little in the last round, is fine. Although we had that conversation at nauseum. Knipple won't project as well as this, but I think he's a good click. But if his ownership is going to get steamed because of his ADP, it becomes a little less enticing. Vooch is a better pick if we get no Duran and we get no Giddey. But I think he's still fine in the last round. Jamal Murray, I don't think he plays this evening. I think Fox is fine because he got 37 minutes or whatever, 36 minutes. Cooper Flagg and PJ Washington are good scrolls. Jimmy Butler is fine, but not my favorite, but he's fine. Hunter, I'm a little nervous on, but yeah, I'm good with Hunter in the last round with all the opportunity to score in the world this evening. Playing whack-a-mole with any of the Miami guys feels fine. I think Jaime Jaquez is my favorite. I think Khalil Ware is my second favorite, just relative to ADP there. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good play, although it's pretty gross and hard to click. Mark Williams, there's another good scroll down here. I won't play any Aiden today. I won't play any Pritchard. Definitely PJ Washington is in play. He's buried down here. He's got a ceiling. I won't play any Levert today, even if everybody is out. The minutes just haven't been there. So if you get everybody out on the Detroit side, I would go ahead and I would play Paul Reed and Ron Hollins would be like my two favorite plays. But they are quite thin on this slate. Cedric Coward would probably be, again, one of my favorite scrolls. Just young legs on a back-to-back. Noah's asking about Santi Aldama. It lacks ceiling, in my opinion. I would rather play Cedric Coward. I would rather play JJJ. But Santi, just night after night with that band of 35, 31, 33, 31, 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 29. Like, if you're going to go that route, just take a ceiling shot on the handling of Coward, who's going to play 30, 28, 27, 28, 30. He just has a little bit higher of a ceiling outcome potential and can score at a higher rate. But Santi's a fine play on Redacted this evening. He's just not as nice on our site. I'm really waiting for the Shaden Sharp minutes he's kind of been soft capped and like creep up. Dude, when Shaden Sharp hits like 35 minutes, he's going to break a slate. Okay. Like, just straight up, he's going to break a slate because he is playing very strong, good, inspired basketball right now. He's been consistent as hell. His usage rate is monstrous. I love Shaden Sharp. Like, just, yeah. Solver tool broke, can't grab exposures. Well, let me see if I can grab exposures and then show you. So right now I have none of my exposures in there. We can go to drafts completed. Check this one out. Go to the Hump Day Hoops. Yeah, I'm not seeing the sync exposure there either. So we could do a little reset of the solver and see what's up. Yeah, let me see. I will mess around with the Chrome extension stuff for a half second. Manage the extensions. Solver draft assist update. Yeah, here, let me show you guys. If you guys ever have some issues with the solver and things aren't going right, go into the extensions of Chrome here. And then this top right, you guys can't see it. Sorry, you guys can't see it. But in the, let me see here. I'll get this logo out of the way for you for a second. You guys see that top right? I can't put the arrow on it right now. Can I put the arrow on it? There you go. That top right developer mode right there. Flip it over. Then go over here. Hit the update button. Extensions will update. Sometimes they just push something through on the back end, and then we'll figure this one out. Jump back to the site. Then you guys bring up the solver extension on the side there, and you just give it the old off and then on again. Enable, unable, hit the refresh, see what happens. There you go. Like magic. There you go. We solved the problem. So hopefully, yeah, Tech Guru John, baby. Here he is. Woo, 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 woo. Hopefully that helps. It's Mookie. Go and try the same thing as I just did there. And now you'll be able to hit the sync on your exposures. Exposures last synced. Then guess we got to run another draft here just to make sure everything's all good. Jumping in the $5 contest as we speak. Solver pops up for us. Combos pop up. Exposures are synced. 21 drafts, $105. We are cooking. So hopefully that helps Mookie and anybody else who may have been having that issue. What do we got here? Holy sway. The tips yesterday got me 16th place in last night's tournament. Appreciate y'all. Love that. Love hearing about people's success on the site. Love that, my friend. Love that. Michael's asking Anthony Simons garbage time ceiling tonight. 35-5 needs stocks though. I love the take. I love the take. It's a little bit deeper than I'm willing to scroll on a 12 gamer, but is it conceivable? Absolutely. I mean, we said it earlier today in the show. Said it on the last 3 or 4. The Anthony Simons ceiling game is coming at some point in time, and as Mike said, the way Peyton Pritchard has been playing, the Anthony Simons potential overtaking in the starting lineup in certain matchups from Simons could happen, right? And what better time for it to happen than on a back-to-back? You know, what did Anthony play last night? Simons played 25 last night, 22 the night before that. Peyton Pritchard played 31, 33. Yeah, we could see that flipping at some point. I'm Team Wemby here. As you guys can see from my exposures thus far through the first 20, there's first 21 there. I have 28.6% Wemby. I was playing Wemby as my 101 before Giannis was ruled out. Evan took down 30th. Yeah, we'll look at last night's slate real quick here after this. Took down 30th, weighted down by RJ. Would have had a huge night, but I didn't. But if I didn't triple stack Toronto in that lineup, damn, bro. So close. Stay with it. That's a great finish to finish 30th, man. All right. We get Giddy to go ahead. So Vindy P is playing Giddy over Cade, which is just interesting there. So he's playing Cade out narrative. See what Philly Batman does here. Maybe we'll set up a Cade team. Wow, he goes with Reeves there. A little bit of a rogue pick. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Just a little bit of a rogue pick. We have not had very much Karl Anthony Towns, as you guys can see. We do not have much Jalen Duren. Let's go ahead and take Cade on this one and hope Cade plays basketball tonight. Again, on record, saying that I have my stance being that I think Cade is the most likely of the two to play. Also, reminder, guys, with Cade, that Cade and the Pistons are guilty as charged with the late probable tags, the late Q tags, the late snip snap in outs, the late Q tag, then out at lock stuff. They're renowned for some bullshit with Cade in the past. So if they're looking at their roster tonight and they're going, holy shit, we only got like 10 active bodies and the G Leaguers are already rolled out and we have no like real life basketball players on here, they could do a little like, okay, Cade, you got to go tonight kind of thing if it's not like serious. We could play in to the narrative of Easy's game theory question of putting the two of them together and then having either swaps or one plays, one doesn't play. But I still like some of the picks on the board right here. I'm going to go ahead and take Miles Bridges here. I think Bridges is in a nice spot this evening. I think Bridges, we saw a ceiling game last time out from him. Let's take the bad Bridges here and then see if Duran continues to fall just to play chicken with the room. See what happens here. Philly Batman is cooking. He takes Hunter next. So he's mixing and matching. He's showing off with the scrolls right now. All very logical players, but not in my desired order. Vindy P still has Jalen Duran in his rankings, so he goes ahead with the 17 there. Did we hit on what the actual designation for Jalen Duran was? It's right ankle sprain. Okay, cool. I watched a good portion of that game, the overtime game against the Wiz there, and I didn't see anything. Obviously, he didn't hit ceiling in that game and tried his best to sink the pick'em, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the real or the fake there. Kevin Durant goes at 20. Jalen Brunson goes at 21. Our guy continues to cook with a Norm Powell share. Amin Thompson comes back to us. The solver likes it. I like it. I think it's kind of an end of a tier in my mind, even though I do like Sar and Allen this evening. I do think the next tier, if Nuggets 210 is watching, I think the next tier of guys that I like is Sar, Allen, Curry. And I actually think I like it Allen, Curry, Sar. But yeah, I'm good with any combination of this. You guys could see that the solver really likes John Morant here. That's because of the ETR projection. But Ryan Rollins is popping a little bit there. Trey Murphy's popping a little bit over these guys that I have queued, which is just interesting. In terms of my combinatorial exposure, you guys can see that I have a 0% combo of this exact team thus far. And pick 5, it doesn't matter who we add to pick 5 here because we do not have this combo in our bag. I'm going to take Jared Allen here. I like Jared Allen. I like the spot for Jared Allen. I like him a little bit more than the Steph ceiling. I would take Steph there if we had gotten Jimmy ruled out or if we had gotten Kuminga ruled out. Given the fact that the Warriors could be like full tonight, I'm not chasing the dragon that is Steph. He's obviously going to project better than pick 23 or 26. But I'm not going to chase that dragon when I know people have him in the 6th round, right? I know he exists in the 6th round. I know he might even exist as a swap for people. So if I'm going to be the guy jamming Steph at 23, that's not my music. That's not my music. As you guys can see, Vindy P going full projection, bro. That's what the projection bro team will look like if you just jam the ETR projection right now. You're going to get like Harden, Giddy, Duran at a discount because it's slightly discounted, then Durant, Steph, and then you're going to end up with all the jaw in the world in the last round. Yeah, Philly Batman is cooking, Nezzy. He's cooking. This guy knows the best plays, and he's going, I'm game stacking the shit out of that game, and Lakers go burr. So I'd venture to guess he does something else with Cleveland, Miami here. Or maybe plays the other side of the Lakers game. Oh, a little Miles Turner. Okay. So he's paying attention to the news. He's making good decisions out here. They're not the decisions in which I would take. Ryan Rollins is still available to us here. That would be the guy who projects the best. I think we're going to scroll and we're going to take a little Dyson Daniels here instead. there's still like 11 picks on the board, 15 picks on the board that are totally viable. We went through them last draft. But yeah, the best projecting plays available will be some combination of Zoobs, of Chet, of Vooch if we get no Duran, Ryan Rollins who was popping there. Yeah, it's going to start figuring itself out. But Russell Westbrook will become a staple. If we get Sabonis ruled out here, he will become a staple of the kind of like 23, 24, 25 pick range. So, yeah. Last team there, guys. That was a Wemby, Cade, Bridges, Amon Thompson, Jared Allen, and Dyson Daniels team. Obviously, really like that team. That team's going to project well. It's also slightly unique because of the Amon fall and the Cade falls if Cade plays. And then we'll get a swap if Cade does not go. And just given the fact that unless we get a surprise ruling out of anybody else in front of us, aka Joker would be the most likely one, you're going to get the 1-0-1 swap with Cade. So yeah, we'll find a play because there's a plethora of plays at this back end that we'd be fine swapping to, any normal slate. And, Chet is a second or third round pick, but because we got 12 games. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much to Mike Zakarian for joining us. I got a hit on last night's winners because we skipped that segment there. I got 100 drafts in last night. Made a couple bucks on my 100 there. Shout out to Briars 831 here who takes it down. I really wanted to bring this team up because it's just where like on a 6-game slate, correlation can pay dividends when no other games pop off. We're always looking for isolated players that are like, who's in a good spot? Who's got contingent upside? Who's going to benefit from a matchup? Like that's what we look at through like the micro lens. The macro lens is what team is going to score 120 points and go burr in a pace-up game environment. And Nez pointed out yesterday that he really liked this Brooklyn and Toronto game. Well, there's 3 pieces of it that go right in the middle there. And then we talked about, hey, can you play Mikal Bridges with the other New York pieces? And I was like, not really, because Mikal Bridges' ceiling game tends to come at the expense of others. But the game played fast enough. There were enough turnovers in it. There was enough pace that everyone kind of gets home on a 6-game slate. Nobody else breaks the slate. And even though Joker was the highest scoring player in the first round there, it didn't wind up mattering because people paired him with duds over and over again. You needed to pair a couple of Knicks together, which is kind of like Easy's thesis today with the Detroit stuff. Is it's a really good game environment. It's really pace up. Nobody's going to pair the 2 Q tags together. If they both play, can we get a result like that? So if you did like a Cade, Duran, Giddey team that's only going to be available right now because of the Q tags, like I wouldn't kill you for it because it's literally the thesis of yesterday's winner. Right now, correlation plays a little bit different on a 6-gamer versus a 12-gamer. And, we can dive into some of those logistical conversations in the future. But just wanted to share this and put it on people's radar there. Shout out to our guy, Sam Olson. Sam Olson here in second place there, despite the Jamal clunker in his lineup there, doing the same thing with the Denver pieces there. Larry Markkinen has another really nice night there. Claxton was a projection darling, needed him in there. And then IQ was one of our favorite plays at the back end. A beautifully constructed team here. I imagine this team was drafted the night before or earlier on when Claxton was falling back to the right side of the board and Jalen Brunson was falling because Embiid was still in the player pool. Ja was getting pushed up, yada, yada. So very nice early drafted team would be my understanding of that one. Your boy finished in 39th place here. Only lineup that really made any noise. It was the inverse of what Sam Olson did. And the reason I wanted to bring up Sam's lineup and then mine is to just show you guys the juxtaposition of 2 ways to get there. Obviously, his performed better than mine did, but I flipped the board at the front end here. I did a Joker team, and then I said, well, Joker's routinely paired with these guys. Let me pull up guys that I like who aren't paired with him that frequently. So I pulled up Brandon Ingram from 16 to 12. I pulled up Larry Markkinen from 17 to 13. and built it out that way. Now I was not able to get Claxton then to fall because I drafted this team later in the day. So then what do? Well, I scroll the F down to someone who wasn't getting drafted the previous night before. I still get IQ in my lineup because I liked IQ. IQ was the guy that Sam Olsen gets at pick 36 because he's drafting the night before. There's more players in the player pool, yada, yada. But your boy goes, okay, well, I know all this information. How do I counter that? So what I do is I go IQ at 25 because he's not going to make it back to 36 anymore now that the projections are out. And I just liked the IQ play. And then I go, okay, how do I differentiate this? 12% owned Cedric Coward. Can he hit ceiling? So yeah, interesting. Two ways to get to similar positions. Obviously, his performs so much better because it projects so much better and it meets that projection. But I just wanted to share that with people. Shout out to the Gale, who's a member here. Shout out to Jay Fresh, who donated 5 Badge Bros memberships earlier today. Here, take a peek at that team. Mikal Bridges in the last round to go with the quickly stuff. The Nick Claxton projection slapped. Yeah, you needed Cat and or Joker in the first round there with the 55 or 60 ball. Beautifully constructed teams. All right, guys, that's it. Unabated projections are not out yet, and the unabated pick'em tool is not ready to cook. So Noah's asking for, can we get a pick'em slip? We will do the pick'em entry and share it in the Discord at some point today in the main Discord Badge Bros channel there. So if I like any of the plays, that is. So I will be ready in 28 minutes time to get a first look on the projections and the pick'em tool, and then I will share something if it cooks. All right, guys, back tomorrow. Probably going to be paywalled, but not a guarantee. But back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. We will talk about Thursday Night Football. We will talk about the NBA 3-game slate, I believe, 3 or 4 games tomorrow. So, yeah, a little bit short of a slate. 3-game slate. Got some fun matchups on it. Oh, yeah, this will be a fun slate. Nice. Okay, yeah. Yeah, fun 3-game slate tomorrow coupled with Thursday Night Football. Shout out to Mike Zakarian for being here on short notice and filling in for our guy Nez. We miss and love our guy Nez, but it was nice to have Mike join the program. Shout out to Davis Gaming, again, for the Supercross expert for 10 Badge Bros memberships. And shout out to Jay Fresh for the 5 Badge Bros memberships. Congrats again on the top 10 last night. If you guys do not mind, hit that like, subscribe, notification, bell, all that good stuff. And go check out the Solver. You guys heard Mike singing the praises of the Solver. You guys saw It's Mookie in the chat, who had a really good football weekend there, talking about the Solver, using the Solver. And you guys could see the benefit of it in real time as I was using it here. All right, guys, back tomorrow. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. Much love.